Oh, yeah. Welcome to Pot of Thunder, the recognized symbol of excellence in rock and roll podcasting, brought to you by Blue Microphones. They look great, and they sound even better. You know me. It's your buddy, Andy. I'm joined by Chris L. Chris, what's going on?
Not much. Glad to be here tonight. Special Christmas week episode.
That's right. It's a very special time of year, and we've got a special show today. We've got two guests. We've got the one, the only, Jesper Lundgren. Jesper, hello, all the way from Sweden.
Yeah, hello, hi.
And not to be outdone, but we've got the legend on the guitar, the six-string legend, Mr. Bruce Kulick.
All right. It's the one and only and the legend.
Yes. That's right. Yes. Interchangeable adjectives if you feel better about it being flip-flopped around.
No, it's okay. Monikers are fun.
Yeah.
Yes, so welcome to the show, guys. We've got something special today because you guys got together and worked on a project, correct?
Yeah.
Not physically, but yes, we did work together.
The magic of the internet, am I right?
Well, the magic of the internet and the way you could share files, correct. I love Sweden, the country Jesper is from, but it is a long journey. And since I was just getting involved a little bit on some opinions of songs, and then of course, tackling some extra guitar work for their new single, we did it through mostly emails, and then of course I recorded here in Las Vegas where I live and sent him the file for his engineer to put in to the session and mix. And it went rather smoothly. I'm really happy with the outcome, obviously, of the collaboration.
Now, how did the collaboration come about? How did you guys meet or encounter each other? How did that
Jesper took a bet with one of his friends that he would actually write me, and he asked me. No, how did that happen, Jesper? I don't even know.
It was just like that, simple.
Okay.
I just sent you a text and you, or an email and you answered.
It might have been an iMessage too, whatever, on Facebook.
Yeah, I think it was, of course.
I mean, if you don't ask or go for it in life, you'll never really accomplish some of the things that you want to. And I don't look. I get emails from people that they can't write a sentence in English. Okay, and I don't think they're foreign. They're just not. I don't know why, but they can't even type words that mean anything.
One of those emails might have been from us. So.
It might have been from you guys.
Yeah,
I don't know what the system is in Chicago.
That explains why you haven't been on the show until now. But no,
but Jesper represented very professionally and we were able to communicate about it. And then once I heard the song, of course, music's going to transcend any email. Besides, they had some other material of theirs on SoundCloud for me to check out, their works in progress.
Right.
So I kind of got a real flavor for what they were about, and I liked it. I'm very attracted to things that are not necessarily, they have to be, good, of course, to my, taste in music, but I like when they seem organic and real, and I didn't feel like in any way that the music from Velvet Insane was, being manufactured in some test tube or anything. It just seemed really organic for him and his partner to come up with this material that was kind of varied, and I loved the song that he asked me to be a part of. And it obviously is actually one. I'm sure you guys have heard the song, and hopefully you'll play it here on the podcast.
Of course,
it's not. It's just really good rock and roll. I can't say Kiss would cover it necessarily, and then again, it doesn't matter who would. It's their sound, but it's something that I really, I responded to. So, and then I could figure out very easily what kind of guitar work I could contribute to it. So it was. As much as, Jesper reached out, again, if I don't like the material or don't think I can add something that's unique, that has my stamp on it, shall I say, my style, that would help the song, I wouldn't have agreed to be involved. So it turned out to be a win-win for all of us.
Yeah, cool. So Jesper, did you how did you react when you started kind of conversing with Bruce and he agreed to contribute to your own music? I mean, were you expecting that? Were you pleasantly surprised? How did you react when it
I was really surprised first because Bruce answered. Not anyone answer. It's like that simple, because people don't have time to check out new bands.
Sure.
Or time to check out bands from another country, like from a little small town called Östersund here in Sweden, in the north of Sweden. Yes, I was really surprised, and it was like fantastic. And as soon as we started to work together with the song, it all. I think your guitar playing, Bruce, you nailed the song, because you made it more dance kind. It got a more kind of dance kind of vibe to it.
Good. Okay.
So yeah,
Bruce.
I mean, I'll be honest.
It's cool. Yeah.
I heard things in it that reminded me of if I was, and this is one of my guitar heroes. If I was Eddie Van Halen, how would I do your session? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because all those parts I put into your chorus and then the breakdown, that was like me being some guy, making it just giving it a personality. So I'm real happy you're hearing that, and the reaction so far. And I don't know if you're aware, Andy, the reaction's been great. So it's been good, and I'm
great.
Happy that everybody is giving it, really checking it out, and hopefully they're tapping their toes and getting up and dancing to it.
Yeah, Bruce, I got a question for you. When you go through your inbox and you have these kinds of unsolicited submissions from aspiring artists around the world, do you look at it with a producer's eye? Do you have a producer bug, or not necessarily?
Absolutely. I want to just, as much as I feel like I have done production not only for myself but some other artists, but it's not like what I'm, known the most for. It's really been, of course, my guitar playing. But I do listen to it. Being a good, if you want to just wear the producer hat, as you say, and I've worked with some really famous, talented ones, from Bob Ezrin, of course, and Ron Nevison, and Eddie Kramer, and so forth. It is always about the song and how the music makes you feel. So, and generally a producer should respond like with his own instinct, and that's what I try to do. So I first probably do listen to a band as more the producer or A&R guy, as they call it, which labels you have. And then, of course, try to figure out, like, all right, if I like it, then I would take it to the next level in my brain, saying, like, what could I add to it? What do I like about it? What's wrong with it sometimes? There's been some people that have sent me things that I think they're close. I get what they're doing, but I have to pass because it's just not there. It's not at a level that I want to. It would need too much work. You know what I mean? I don't want to do that. So it's a great question. And it's always, it's kind of like if you love hamburgers, you go to every restaurant in your neighborhood or
I do
travel. Oh, they're going to be different. Okay. And some are going to be your favorite. And when you got one that's like, oh my God. I'm not trying to make a complete analogy to a song being an actual food item, but you are evaluating, like, how does it, in this case, how does it sound, how does it make me feel, as opposed to how does it taste. But it's similar in the sense that emotionally you're going to respond to it, and certainly I'm sure you could think of some hamburgers and meals that you wish you never had,
Sure.
So when the email comes in with something that's not very tasty, obviously I just say, I wish you luck with it. I don't have a lot of time right now. You know what I mean? I do.
Sure, and I can imagine you don't.
I'm not real brutal. If you get that.
Mm-hmm.
Or I don't have to respond, and that's a response too. Right?
Sure.
When you don't respond.
And that's the thing we briefly touched on just the magic of the internet. Anybody could send you anything, and they could be someone at an experience level that's where they probably shouldn't be sending things out yet, where they should be honing their craft. So
that's true too. Yes, and in the same way, there are certain people that can make a comment that shouldn't be allowed a way to make a comment because it doesn't make.
Oh, right.
It just has an agenda that's like, oh, please, But look, I do feel that music is a wonderful gift in life that everybody should explore. But obviously, when they're at a certain level, I remember not too long ago getting some YouTubes from a guy who I think the band that he was performing with, and they were opening for bands like Warrant and doing different things. So I was like, okay, I definitely would like to check this out. You could tell that they were good, but he wanted what he was asking for me in the sense of getting involved just didn't really make any sense at this point. But I certainly gave him some words of encouragement because, there was nothing wrong with what he was doing. It's just what he was asking for me didn't really fit. Jesper wanted some help maybe with mixing or other people that could perform on their album, and I pointed them in the right direction because I knew I couldn't do it, but you have that opportunity to ask, so go for it and do it as best as you can. And that goes for anybody out there that's in a similar situation where they need to take something to the next level, but they're afraid to.
Right, the worst thing that could happen is somebody could say no, or you get nothing.
Yeah,
that's not so bad.
And even then, they may even share some criticism that's constructive. That's the word. That I think some people do need some direction.
Well, I think you're obviously a great ambassador for the band Kiss, the band you were in. Everybody who listens to this show is aware of that. And with this move, you're just a great ambassador for music in general. To work with someone who's not, especially known. Hopefully, will be more known as when we help promote your collaboration. But the fact that you're willing to do this is just, another feather in your cap for being just a really great guy that everybody, certainly Kiss fans, almost universally, just love. So,
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Look, to me, it's an opportunity. If I see something that I go like, I like these guys, and I know Jesper sent me some other things that they did Velvet Insane in the past. I saw a couple of videos online that had a great sense of humor that was fun. So to me, it was like not a hard decision, But everyone has to respond to their new stuff, and I'm looking forward to hearing the rest of the material, their own way. But I do encourage, especially I know that he's a lot younger than me, but I do encourage new talent. And it's different now how you get it out there. But, I'm happy to be, like you say, an ambassador. That's cool.
And we'll get back to Jesper and Velvet Insane in a moment, but quickly, you were on the Kiss Cruise this year, playing a lot of deep cuts and rarities, which I wasn't on the cruise, but hearing from listeners who were on it, a lot of people said that was the highlight of the entire event for them.
And you didn't see any of the YouTube videos?
Oh, I did. I loved it.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's so funny that obviously only 2,500 people could be on the boat.
Yeah.
But then a couple of industrious, fans, which of course I can't control that. I know I've been asked to professionally record it, and the cruises don't encourage that and don't allow it. Okay, so it's not like I have an option. But I do know that that viral nature of people with their cell phone or maybe a good regular camera type thing that can do video, and then they upload it. It's what keeps the buzz alive, and it's exciting to see. But look, I have a great band. We worked really hard. They're fans. They're really big fans.
Mm-hmm.
Brent Fitz and Zach Throne and Todd Kearns are
Right.
huge Kiss fans. So it's so funny. Thank God I have control over them, because if it was up to them, it would get crazy with how many songs that they would try to work it out, and I have to. Someone's got to, reel it in. You know what I mean, and kind of make decisions.
But you guys still went as deep as Time Traveler.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. They challenged me quite a few times about things, and I recognized the importance of hearing them and making it work. I didn't think I'd ever explore Animalize the same way as I did this year, but it made sense with 35th anniversary. I'm not the guy who likes to celebrate 33s and 31s and 37s. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's got to be a 5 or a 0, right?
Yeah, I like the big numbers. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that it represented something really important in my life, which changed my life, changed my entire life, which was becoming a member of Kiss, meant I really wanted to explore that. And even though some of those songs we played a little bit during my first tour, many of them were never played live, of course, and that's how you go deep, with tracks that, again, you're not taking it out on a big tour like Kiss would have to do, and then they'd have to represent their whole career. When it comes to set lists for Kiss, it's always a challenge, but I have a lot of songs to choose from, and that's what I came up with the idea of the medleys, because there's too many to choose from. It's more fun to give them all a great taste of each one of those songs. But like the way the Rat Pack used to do medleys, Sinatra and Dean Martin, and all those TV shows where they'd have a special guest, and the two stars was going back and forth with their big hits, and it goes on, and it's so clever. I mean, Elvis did it with Frank Sinatra, where they sang each other's songs, actually, but it was a medley. And it's really funny when you arrange them right. It's so much fun. It becomes its own little musical, song in a sense, even though you're sticking 5 songs in. So it's always a challenge, but I couldn't have more talented guys that are so, it means a lot to them too, to be great to the fans. So it turned out fantastic. I'm so proud of it.
And I think a lot of listeners of this show are wondering, do you have any plans of taking that show on the road?
Well, we have gotten a few offers and people asking about things. I am a full-time member of Grand Funk, even though that means not the same as some bands where you go off for, 2 months at a time or like almost a year like Kiss just did in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
But, and then like last year, for example, Todd and Brent played with Slash, and they did so many gigs with Slash. It was ridiculous. And then, of course, Slash got busy again with Guns N' Roses. So we're going to look at the opportunities that come our way that could fit everyone's schedules. And so I don't want to say, we couldn't do something. I just don't know yet. And I certainly want to make it work. If it was going to be something, I don't necessarily want to go take this band out and play at clubs where I have a couple hundred people. That's not going to be very exciting for me. Because even though I know their hearts would be in the right place, the people in the club, but to have a pool deck full of a couple of thousand people on the cruise,
Yeah, you get used to that.
Yeah, you get used to that. Yeah, and I'm not sure really what the response would be in the States. I think internationally it would do even better, and that makes it even more complicated because it's expensive to go to Europe or South America. I bet we could play some festivals, and the only problem with that is that's kind of during my busy time with Grand Funk. So I'm going to weigh all the options and see the best what I can do. And my guys are really patient about it. They understand. But the big always win is if we get asked to do Kiss Cruise 10, which I'll presume. I mean, I haven't officially been asked. But we have such, an exciting thing to look forward to with that. And who knows, maybe there'll be some other things. The other important thing I did want to mention is I do really plan to record with the guys. We all happen to live in Las Vegas, and
cool.
We almost thought about doing that while we were prepping for the cruise, but it took a lot of work to put together the set that we did. So I'd like to say that we'd be able to put out 2 to 4 songs or something, maybe an EP of material, some original, some cover,
Nice.
And these guys are the right guys to do it with because they're really talented and we all get along so well and play well together. So
Yeah, absolutely.
we'll see how that pans out. So that's a goal in 2020 that I really think even before I could say, and catch us at these venues, we're going to do this West Coast run or we're going to do this Midwest run. But I'd like to say at some point I'd be able to do some things like that.
Now, when you said covers, were you talking about a Kiss cover, or you don't even know, or maybe one of the medleys? Or?
No, I think if we did a cover, it could be a Kiss cover, but I want it to be something unique,
Sure.
So we'll see.
You don't want to just do. You don't just want to do a bunch of Kiss classics.
No, I'm not. We're not going to do necessarily like Lick It Up or something like that.
Sure.
It would be something that would be related. That would be cool.
I'm going to ask on Andy's behalf if you could consider doing "Read My Body." He's a huge fan of that one.
Read My Body.
Yeah.
That's fine.
In fact,
I'd rather go deeper.
Deeper than "Read
we'll
My
see.
Body." Wow.
Would there be
Yes.
Would there be any chance of finishing "Do You Want to Touch Me Now" and putting it on?
Oh wow, you guys even know that? Oh, Jesper, we're talking to some really, real big Kiss fans here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it was never released, that would be really tricky. Okay, I happen to have the master track, meaning the mix of it. That sounds amazing, and I know Tommy had it when they needed to get all the material together for the Kiss box set, and I was really surprised they didn't include it. But that was probably up to Paul and Gene or whatever. But it was never, there was no vocals for it, and it wasn't finished. But the track was finished, meaning drums, bass, and everything. There wasn't a lead guitar on it per se, but the track sounds tremendous. It would be a drag if they didn't actually release it just like that. So it's such a killer song. It really is cool. But no, I wouldn't. I couldn't do that. Or if I wanted to, I'd have to ask, Paul and Gene, because they technically would own that track being recorded during the Kiss years.
Was that song fully written, like a fully realized, as far as the vocal and the lead guitar, and just not laid down, or did it not really exist?
Just not lead guitar and vocals. And Paul did have an idea for the melody and the title, which is how it got the title.
Mm-hmm.
But somehow Ezra and Paul just never felt like it really was finished. It was right to record. I'm not sure if they were right or wrong, but I do get that artistic kind of, it's got to be right or it doesn't belong on the record kind of thing.
Sure, especially when you have a vision for an entire album, right? Maybe they felt that even if it was a great track, it might not have fit on that album.
To me, even at the level they had it, I thought it belonged on the record.
Okay.
But again, it wasn't my position to stomp my feet and say, "Are you crazy?" The record took long enough as it was. It's a long year of work.
Well, you have come across some crazy Kiss fans, because if you're familiar with the show, or even if you're not, we devoted an episode to every Kiss song studio track ever. And we pretty much ran through those, and so now we're doing just general hard rock, metal type bands submitted by our listeners.
You've done enough podcasts that you covered every song in the Kiss catalog.
Every single song. We did all the studio cuts. I mean, there's a few that our listeners who are super hardcore Kiss fans wanted us to do, like off the box set and stuff, but we kept it to the studio albums, the studio side of Alive 2, the solo albums, 78 solo albums, that type of thing.
Wow.
And that
how many podcasts have you done then? How many have you done?
We got done with the Kiss songs about episode 290, wasn't that?
Yeah.
And now this one will be episode 342. So we've been at it
Look
for a
at
while.
you guys. Wow.
Yeah, it's fun. And,
How many years have you been doing it?
Started in April 2013, before podcasting was even cool, Now everybody's doing it.
It was immediately before podcasting became cool.
Yes.
Could you say that we made podcasting cool? I don't know. I don't want to be the one to say it.
I'll say it.
This is the first time you got me on here with my Swedish friend. That's kind
Well,
of
I was just about to say Jesper is taking this thing to the next level and then some. So
I know.
Yeah.
He's been running through. This is going to sound really old. He's running through his Rolodex. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if Jesper knows what a Rolodex is.
I've used that word.
An ID.
Okay.
No, okay. Yeah, I was saying I've used that word at my day job and gotten confused looks from interns. So I feel you, Bruce.
I bet.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you a quick story. What Jesper did. It was really, really kind of. I admire him for it. I get an email from the Grand Funk publicist who has done some work for me. She mostly deals with some classic rock bands and sometimes some like eclectic kind of bands. And apparently Jesper found her contact somewhere, probably on the Grand Funk side or somewhere. I don't know, maybe associated with one of my things. And next thing I know, she writes me going like, wow, I just heard from a guy named Jesper in Sweden with the song that you worked on. I really like it. I have to admit, I was really flattered. I don't think I've ever gotten an email from a Jesper. And I like the music, so I'm going to share it, So that was funny. And then I thought about it for a minute, and I realized, yep, he's calling up everybody, which is good. He's contacting everyone.
Yeah, you gotta admire that initiative.
Yeah, I do.
It's great to see it get rewarded like this. Yeah, and the format of our show is we listen to the song, like we start to play, and then when one of us has something to say about it, we pause it and then we discuss it.
Okay.
I don't think you have the time for that, Bruce. Probably you've got other
No,
commitments.
I'd rather not. I'd get crazy with it. Actually.
Yeah. Well, we'll try to be nice in our comments. But
well, thank you.
Well,
but I did. Since you're going to do that, I'll kind of wind up here explaining a few things about the song.
Great.
That obviously I do that solo at the top, which is just me being melodic Bruce, just trying to, do something that you can sing, melody wise. And then I do some interesting things in the choruses, which again, my influence would have been if Eddie Van Halen was hired by Jesper, to do kind of that
he's
kind
probably
of work.
he's probably made overtures to Eddie too. So
yeah, I bet he did, but he heard from me first.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
But here's a funny thing: when the solo comes up, right? Jesper, when I got the track, is playing the guitars in the solo, in the body of the song, and it's like was it 2 or 3 parts, Jesper, that you had down?
I think it was 3 parts, maybe.
3 parts, right?
Yeah.
So he creates this 3-part solo, done very unique. I found like his kind of vision of the tone, and I said, okay, this is different, and I like it, but I have to add some notes to it. I have to add me to it, right?
Yep.
So I kind of complimented what he did with another harmony part or a higher octave of it, and that's the way I heard it. So that was kind of interesting, though, that he asked me to do guitar on the track, but I'm not doing the body, the solo in the middle. So I think you guys should examine that when you get to that. But I look at it a little bit like a Brian May kind of thing.
Oh, cool.
And then, of course, the breakdown, I get to fool around with the same theme as the chorus, okay? But I simplify it because I don't want to get in the way. It's Johan as your singer, right?
Yeah, Jonas.
Yeah, Johan. And I hope he gives you back rubs and things like this for all the work you're doing for your band, right?
It's the least he can do.
Yeah, the least he can do. Maybe foot rubs, too. Anyway.
Yeah.
But
God knows.
At the end of the song, it was always Jesper's idea for me to, take out the song while it's getting, exciting, and it's the tag of the song, and I would play solo. So, that was my instinct for the song. Fortunately, Jesper liked everything I did. And that was my little critique of what I did.
Nice.
And again, to me, the song's constructed very, very well. I like the way all the sections flow, and it just gives you a good feeling. It's a feel-good song, and that I think everybody should be a feel-good junkie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And songs that make your foot tap and you could sing along to I mean, that's the beauty of Kiss's biggest hits. I'm sure you know that.
Oh yeah, we know that.
They make you feel good,
Yeah.
And then of course, Kiss represents a very, very strong kind of like, think big and feel good and enjoy life, and big theme kind of thing. So, and A Brand New Start is a good title for something positive too.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
So we all have to do that. So that's my critique. But I'm gonna get off in a minute and let you guys critique the song, and Jesper could either cry or applaud it, right?
Yeah. We'll Jesper will stay on, and we'll just have a discussion about it.
You'll
and,
dig into it.
Okay. I just wanted to say about the foot rubs thing. It's the least this lead singer can do, because God knows they don't carry any equipment in and out of the venue. They're not known for doing that, so they might as well give out the massages.
Well, I have another chore for Johan to do. So, Jesper, please tell Johan that you would like this weekend him to make you some piti pana, okay?
Yeah, I could piti pana.
Right? It's just leftovers, right? All fried up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Me and my wife's laughing in the background. We really loved piti pana when we were the band Union when we toured in Sweden.
Nick makes a mean.
Want to impress us.
Nick makes a mean
Jesper,
spanakopita, so I think that might be in the same ballpark.
How would you explain it, Jesper? What is it?
What piti pana is?
Yes.
It's like, as you said, you slice up some leftovers, potatoes, sausage, and stuff like that, and you cook it all together.
It's amazing.
Is it like a shepherd's pie sort of a configuration? A little bit?
I'm not sure if he knows what that is.
Oh.
No.
Yeah, he's not British, Nick.
Pardon me.
He's Swedish. Not British, Swedish.
And what is it called again?
Piti pana.
pana.
You'll have to spell it for him.
I thought that was the name of the coffee table we have in this room. Boo.
But guys,
Boo.
what it's like is, let's say you had leftover baked potato, and then you had some bacon or sausage from the weekend, with your eggs and everything. You would just slice up all those leftovers, and you could actually put eggs in it, whatever you want, noodles, pasta, whatever, you know what I mean? So there you go. That's what it's all about.
So it's like the free-form improvisational jazz of cuisine, kind of? Just
yes,
whatever you want to
it's
throw
delicious.
in there?
I'm going to tell Brent Fitz that I was talking about piti pana again. It's kind of funny. But the last thing about it was like, we go to a nice restaurant, the promoter will take us someplace, and the guy wants to impress us with fancy cuisine, and then we look up and go, "Do you have piti pana?" That's like such an insult to the chef. It's like, just take all your leftovers and shove it in our pan and heat it up for us. Right, Jesper? That would be like a stupid thing to say to the chef.
Yeah.
I think they did it, though. They did it for us. They realized we're just a bunch of dumb Americans that just want some comfort food, in a sense, So, all right, guys, it was great chatting with you guys.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, and thanks for working with Jesper. And before I let you go, I just want to say one thing. You've heard this a million times. You're going to hear it for 1,000,001 times. I was driving back from the Detroit area yesterday. Paid a visit to some friends there. Forever came up on shuffle for me. Acoustic solo, everybody knows it. I just want to say that your contributions to that song throughout are just amazing.
Well, thank
you. Something that I'm sure you're proud of, and it's something that just makes me happy every time I hear it. And you just we're all
appreciate that.
We're all big fans of yours, and we couldn't be more happy that you were able to come on our show. So
well, thanks.
Thank you.
Well, hopefully we'll have a chance to talk, especially if I put out that new music with my band, with these guys, okay?
Yeah, we're happy to help promote it, yeah.
Yep, excellent.
All right,
Jesper and Andy, and I'm sorry I forgot your partner's name there.
Chris and Nick, we're all here now, so yeah.
Okay. Well, great chatting with you all, and, just have a wonderful holiday season, please, all of you. Be safe and enjoy your families and all, okay?
Yeah, you too.
Thank you, Bruce.
Yeah,
Thank
you
you.
too.
Guys. Take care.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, if I hang
Take care.
out, Jesper doesn't get thrown out, does he? Or
No.
Jesper's staying
Okay.
on, yeah.
All right, cool. All right, you take care.
Okay.
Yeah, take care. Bye.
Okay, so
Yeah, we need to get to the bottom of this Pitipano business.
yeah, now we can really delve into the whole cooking aspect of the show, which is what everybody wants to hear.
Yeah, you should eat pitipana.
Yeah. I don't think... I'm trying to think of Swedish food that is common in America.
Everybody says meatballs.
Meatballs,
that's the big,
yeah, that's like the most common.
stereotypical food around
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Are meatballs huge over there?
Meatballs, if they
Is that true? That
Is that like one of the main
or
courses?
Did Americans just? Is it an Americanized dish that we just put Swedish in front of, or are they really a big staple over there?
yeah.
Basically,
I don't really know, actually.
no.
Yeah.
Do you eat meatballs for 3 meals a day is Nick's question. And I think the answer is no.
Yeah,
Yeah,
in
no.
a sense, the answer is no.
Yeah. So a couple things I want to get into. I don't want to get into you.
Whoa.
Slow down, Andy. Have another
Meatballs.
drink.
Yeah.
A couple things I want to get into with you. One, you said you're from the north of Sweden. So what's the nearest large city there?
I live in a quite big city called Östersund, but Stockholm. It's like 60 Swedish miles away, so like 6 hours driving.
Oh wow,
Stockholm.
Okay, I gotcha. So that's a pretty. So you're almost in the North Pole, basically.
Yeah,
Essentially.
with the polar bears.
Yeah. Very cool. Okay. And then the other thing I wanted to get into, just judging by the conversation we had and also by your Skype name, it seems like you're a significantly younger man than Bruce is, correct?
Yeah, I'm 25.
Okay, that's what I was getting at. Okay. So you've been doing this for a few years, I'm sure. We don't know a ton about Velvet Insane, but I'd like to know more. How long have you guys been together?
Since 2013.
Oh, okay. That's when we started this podcast. So you've been at it for a long time. And same members for that whole time? Or have you had some lineup changes?
Yeah, we had... In the start, we were a 4-piece band, and now we're just a duo, 2-piece band with, and we take in some session players.
Like Bruce Kulick, so you're really
like Bruce Kulick
aiming high
and,
with that, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Is the goal to get back into a 4-piece band and hit the road? Is that the plan? Or is this more of a recording project?
No, we tour as a 2-piece band as well, and we take in session players to play with us live.
Oh, okay.
So we got a few members that we're playing with. So yeah, we're gonna go out and tour again in February, and we're gonna do some shows here in Sweden and in the UK and stuff like that.
Yeah, great. So are the two core members of the band you and the singer? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
The
Me
foot
and Jonas,
massager, a.k.a. he'll be known from here on out as the foot massager. So make sure you make him do that. It's the least he can do. Tell him Bruce told him to do it. So
you have to. Bruce said so.
Exactly. You got a former member of KISS telling you to do something, you do it. So
yeah, I have to. Yeah.
So then another question. I know we hear this a lot, that young people don't listen to rock. And I don't think that's necessarily true. I mean, you're 25. You've been, and what is your experience like as far as that? Are you, when you were growing up listening to rock music, were you one of the few who were into that type of music, or was it a majority of your classmates or friends?
No, I think I was the only one in my class listening to it. And maybe a few more, but yeah, I was... the odd kid. Listening to rock and roll. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what's more popular there? What type of music?
It's like radio pop music, house music, hip hop, and more electronic music.
Yeah, that's really permeated the globe. So. Well, you know, we're here to help you promote your song and try and get rock and roll back in the mainstream.
Yeah.
Now, I took a listen to the track. I wanted to make sure I had the download all squared away. So I've heard it. Nick and Andy have not. One of the things we like to do on this show is feature songs that we haven't all necessarily heard. So that way we just come in with a fresh perspective, and we get a lot of new discoveries on here, bands that we might not have otherwise listened to, that we check out, and we ended up enjoying them. So that's the situation here. I've had a brief discussion with you about my thoughts on the song that I'll relate as we get into it, but Andy and Nick will be hearing it for the first time. So now you're familiar. You're familiar with our show. You reached out to us to make this happen, so you know how we do it. We let the song go until we want to make a comment on it. Then we pause it. Then we discuss it. Then we move through it again. So we're going to give you the same treatment as Kiss and all the other bands we've done on here. So if you're ready to get started, I think we are.
Yeah, it will be a lot of fun. It will be interesting to see what you guys think about the song. Yeah.
And is this song part of an album, or is it more of a single release?
Yeah, it's the first single from our upcoming album. Yeah.
And what's the album called?
The Dance of Life.
Nice.
It's called.
Very cool.
And it will be released hopefully in the end of January. Yeah.
Okay. All right, and just to get this out in front, is this song available now for people to download if they want to?
Yeah, it's up on all your favorite platforms.
Excellent. Very good. Okay. All right, well, then without any further ado, let's get this started.
What's the title of it again? It's, did you just say it?
It's A Brand New Start.
All right, well, here we go. Let's get started.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why. Like, I can't pinpoint what song is coming to mind, but I'm getting like a George Harrison from the '80s kind of a vibe. I'm trying to think of what song it's really reminding me of, but with the way that the piano is going through with it, and you've got the horn section, which where are those real horns, or is that oh yeah,
of course they are.
I just wanted to make sure, because if it wasn't, it sounds just like it.
I like this. Of course they are. He wouldn't use synthesized
I just
horns.
wanted to. I'm just curious. I want to know how far they may have come with synthesizers.
I'm with you. I had the same question, and I'm just loving his answer. He's like, I'm not going to use synthesized horns. This is a real rock and roll band. That's something we talk about a lot on the show, is how, like, from rock music, it's missing a lot of horns. We're big fans of the saxophone. And also like the glissando of the piano at the beginning, and you got a little boogie woogie piano going on there. You got all the right ingredients for like real harkening back to the spirit of rock and roll. So
it's a glammy kind of stuff. Like Motte Hopel and all the 70s glam rock. That's my biggest influencers.
I mean, I'm 53, and it still blows my mind that guys your age are into Motte Hopel and all the great 70s rock. So I think that's great. And that was Bruce's little bit there at the beginning that he was talking about earlier, right?
His intro solo,
Yeah, that's, a little melodic lead break leading into the vocals. It's another calling card.
Very tasteful,
another calling card of quality rock and roll, I think.
Yeah.
Remind me why I should stay. I'm starting feeling okay. Been at the top of the world for a while now. Your actions are brave, but not that smooth. I know that most of them aren't true. Still, there is something about you, girl.
Okay, want to tip my hat to another thing I love about real rock and roll music: the use of the word "girl" in the lyrics. Huge fan. Always better than baby. If you're gonna choose baby or girl, you should always use girl. It's a much better way to go about it. So,
Or if it's appropriate, combine the two and go with baby girl.
yeah, baby girl is a good one too. Yeah, blend them together. Excellent call.
And since you mentioned Mott the Hoople, I don't know why I didn't catch. It didn't occur to me during the intro, the Mott the Hoople influence, but it's definitely there, and it's really nice callback to that style.
Thank you.
I have to admit, I'm not an expert when it comes to them, but I mean, the song that always comes to mind for me is "Driving Sister," and this song definitely has that same kind of like a swagger to it that like a Driving Sister had. So I'm enjoying that because I do very much enjoy that song. So
You know what this a little bit reminds me of? A harder edged cut from Peter Criss's solo album.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I mean that with the highest compliment, meaning that there's soul to it, there are horns, there's piano, it's rock and roll. Is that was Peter Criss's solo album something that was on your radar, or were you not really a fan of it?
No, I have listened to it a lot actually because I love the album actually. It's pretty good, and I can see your point. It's kind of like a more edgier, hooked on rock and roll kind of swing feel to it.
Anybody with taste appreciates the Peter Criss album, so clearly we have a man of taste on the line here. And in my initial discussions with Jesper after I gave the song a preview, I told him this, and see what you guys think of it, but especially the vocal style, it kind of reminded me of The Darkness a little bit, without the nuts in a vice falsetto yet. There might be some in the future, who knows, but and The Darkness is another modern band that harkens back to that 70s rock vibe.
They're very glam, I would say.
Yeah, so that's what initially reminded me of, but now that we're talking about Mott the Hoople and Peter Criss solo album, it's all blending together, and those are all legitimate comparisons to make too, so good stuff.
I know that there is a place called home. Will you even notice if I go? Ooh, baby, let's put on a show. Silence of the sunbeams in the dark. Are we ready for a brand new start? Like you know, son, I know you are. Are we ready for a brand new start?
Now, when you're singing about ready for a brand new start, I'd imagine that it's sort of relationship related, trying to win back a woman, or what's the theme of the lyrics here? Yeah,
it's like you said, it's about a relationship that that it isn't good for you, but you can't let go. It's Jonas who has written most of the lyrics to it.
Now, does he have a penchant for getting involved with women who are bad for him?
I don't know, actually. Yeah, but maybe a little. But Yeah.
Bad, of course, being a relative term, that can also be a good thing in certain respects. But, you know, singers are known for attracting women who are both bad and good for them, you know. So that's one of the perks of being a singer, I suppose. Guitar player is not far behind, though, so that's a good thing.
Who usually makes the best choices in a typical rock band? That's what I want to know.
Nate, the drummer.
Is it the bass player usually?
It usually is.
Is it?
I mean,
that's the guy whose head is on a little more straight than everybody else.
I think a woman who approaches a bass player is a more discerning individual than the tramps who tend to gravitate towards singers and guitar players. You know,
yeah, it's got to be less of an attraction to the purely superficial if a woman's going to the bass player.
They appreciate the whole foundation of it and how it makes them feel on a guttural level.
I think that's what they're looking for. They're looking for a guy who's going to be there and he's going to hold them up and be their rock and foundation, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a great analysis there. It probably explains why Jesper's band doesn't currently have a bass player in it. They're taking all the women away from these guys.
The women are taking the bass players.
Yeah, that's another change in direction over the years. That never used to happen. I mean, the running joke, there are hundreds of jokes about how bass players don't get any women, so maybe that tide is changing as well.
Rough nights and your jealousy. Are you an illness or remedy? Are you the reason why I came here for? 3 years of peaks and valleys. I've seen the solar eclipse many times. Still there is something about you, girl.
I like the solar eclipse line. Is that basically saying like I've been in the I don't know if this expression is familiar to you, but in the doghouse, like I've been cut off from this woman's affection for a little while.
Like I have to sleep on the couch because she's pissed off at me.
Like there's no sunlight, no anything coming from this woman for a little while. It's just cold and dark for a little bit. Something's not going right.
Yeah, I think it's something like that.
Close enough.
That's just my interpretation of what I think it means. But whether it does or not, I like that line. It made me immediately think, okay, what's he saying? And then a scenario is being painted in my imagination right now.
Might also be an analogy for don't look directly at it. Maybe it's like seeing her in the morning with no makeup on. It's like, don't look at that. Don't look at that yet. You'll damage yourself. The other lyric I liked was, "Are you an illness or a remedy?" That's the $1 million question, really, when you're getting involved in any relationship. Is like, is this chick going to destroy me, or is she going to make me a better person? And there's only one way to find out. You got to dive in there and make it happen. Yeah. So, now is your singer the lyricist? I gather, main lyricist.
Yeah, especially on this one. But we always work together with the music and the lyrics. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of good lines in here. So I'm not one to generally give props to singers, but I will in this case. Well, I imagine he'll probably be listening to this episode. But well done so far, and all good so far, I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know that there is a place called home. Will you even notice if I go? Oh, baby, let's put on a show. Signs of the sunbeams
Okay, so we got a main guitar solo kicking in here. This would be you playing the guitar, correct?
Yeah, and Bruce is playing some melodic stuff over it. Yeah, like Queenish kind of thing.
Now, I'll go back again to like, so you reach out to Bruce Kulick just out of the blue, hoping that something can happen. It ends up happening. We're listening to it. I mean, when he first came back to you with his contributions, I mean, how over the moon were you about this? I mean, was it surreal for you, or I mean, describe?
Yeah, kind of, and it always, and it still is kind of, yeah. And it first kicked in for me when I heard he did a Swedish like radio interview on a Swedish radio here and promoting the song, and I heard his talking about this song. It was and it was the first time it kicked in, and that it was the real Bruce Kulick from Kiss playing on our song amazing. That we have written at our apartment here in Östersund. Yeah.
Now, do you have
kind of cool.
When you say Swedish DJ or Swedish radio? Do you have like rock stations over there? Stations that are playing this type of music, because they're kind of becoming fewer and farther between over here in the States.
Yeah, there is a few rock stations, but most of they play. We got a classic rock station, and we got a modern rock station.
Oh, cool!
And that are more into like Dead Finger, Death Punch, Four Finger Death Punch, and stuff like that.
Oh, and that stuff!
That kind of music.
That stuff has made its way up to Scandinavia. I can't abide that shit, man. Sorry.
Yeah, because so our kind of music isn't that popular, so we don't have a rock and roll radio station, because it's too new to be played on the classic rock station and too old in sound kind of way to be played at modern rock station. So yeah.
Now, are you? Do you have the equivalent of the morning show on your radio stations over there, like the zany comedic guys? Or are they all pretty serious about playing music?
Yeah, they are. They are slightly comedic.
Yeah. See, that would be a great name for a zany morning radio DJ, Meatball, over in Sweden. I mean, how perfect is that?
Yeah.
Tell somebody they can have that, and it's on us.
Well, that would be like the sidekick. That wouldn't be the main guy.
It could be Jesper and Meatball. Have a side job.
Yeah, tell your singer to change his name to Meatball.
Yeah,
He'll love that.
Then you can play your song all you want on your own show.
Yeah. So okay, here comes the solo. So we've got bits of you and Bruce kind of playing together, which is awesome. So let's hear it. Now, I love the way you came out of it with the band kind of falling out and just have kick drum going. So that's a nice kind of build up and release of energy there. And very nice, upbeat, melodic solo.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. What did you? How did you record it? Did you use like software? Or did you mic up amps, or how did you do it?
Mic up amps. Yeah,
we should have known.
We recorded most of the song in Benny Andersson's studio. You know ABBA.
Oh yeah,
the Swedish band ABBA. Yeah, the piano player there, Benny Andersson. We were in his studio and recorded it. So yeah, and that's a classic big studio. So we did it the classic way.
Nice.
Yeah, the real way.
I should have known when you said you use real horns that you would be miking up amps and doing it that way. So, yeah, it sounded good. Any comments there, Nick?
I enjoyed the little like very kind of subtle, but like a little tapping kind of a thing that was going on in the solo. Just that with the tone of the guitar, it was kind of unexpected, but it was pretty nice.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, glad you like it.
All right, let's keep listening.
So last night we met up and talked for hours. Talked about everything like we always do. A powerful feeling is hope. I looked at her, smiled, and said, Signs of the sunbeams in the dark. Are we ready for a brand new start?
And I have to commend you for including the singer kind of doing some acting also in the song. And I was hoping when you okay, and I said to her, and then I'm like, I hope he starts singing what he said to her, and thankfully that's what happened. I really liked that. That was a cool little move.
Yeah, thanks.
Like an old song, I know you by heart. Are you ready for a brand new start? Signs of the sunbeams in the dark. Are you ready for a brand new start? Like an old song, I know you by heart. Are we ready for a brand new start? Why wait when the world around us falls apart? Oh, like an old song, I know you by heart. Are we ready for a brand new start? Oh no, are we ready for a brand new start? Are we ready for a brand new start?
See those little what the bass player's doing there, sort of, jazzing up the bass line and whatnot. That's how a bass player gets laid.
Yeah.
Throwing in those little extra.
It's no wonder that this guy has been taken away from you. No, I'm just kidding. It is you, right?
He played his way right out of the band.
We'll just pretend this was a guy who's no longer in the band because a woman heard this.
He played his way right into a wedding chapel.
Well, other things before that too, which we won't get into. But
jeweler.
But yeah, nice bass work there.
Bakery.
kind of mixing it up, and which is what you want to do when you're kind of reaching the end of a high energy song like this. You want everybody kind of cutting loose a little bit, and that's what you guys have going on here. So very cool.
Yeah.
All right, we got a little bit more to go. Let's finish it up. And there it is. Velvet Insane, a brand new start. And we've got Jesper here on the show. Jesper, congratulations on a great song, man.
Thank you. Did you enjoy Bruce Kulick's outro solo?
Absolutely. Enjoyed it, but, as cool as it is that Bruce is on it, I'm not taking away from that. I enjoyed every part of the song. It didn't come across to me as like, oh, here's some band that I've never heard of with a famous guy on it. It sounds like a great song by a great band. So congratulations on that. Everybody's part is played perfectly.
Yeah, well recorded. Obviously, you did in a pro studio and well produced. And so the guy who's Ben Anderson, is that the name?
Yeah, Ben Anderson. Yeah.
Now, does he do like all the mixing and the producing, or does he have an engineer who does all that, or how does that work?
He got an engineer and and we used a producer called Thomas Eriksson.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thomas.
a typical Swedish name.
Yeah.
Thomas Eriksson. And the guy who's mixing the album is Martin Sweet from a Swedish well-known band called Crash Diet.
Wow, you got a lot of heavy hitters on this thing.
I've heard of Crash Diet. Okay, cool.
Crash Diet.
Yeah. So you don't have to answer this question if you don't want to, but it's something just as a do-it-yourself type of person. You know, all three of us used to be in bands, and we do this podcast from our home studio. But for a 25-year-old guy, did you have to beg groceries to save up money to get into the studio, or did you have someone discover you and help you out? Because that sounds like that's an expensive business venture to get time in a studio like that.
Yeah. Both me and Jonas has financed the studio and the recording session and the whole album by ourselves.
Wow!
Because we have released some. This is going to be our second album, and we have full-length album, and we have released another full-length album and also some EPs, and we have been to some. We have been signed to some record labels, and we haven't been happy about it, about what work they have put in. So
essentially, a lot of those.
That's why we decided to.
A lot of those record label deals like that are almost like a loan, right? And that's it. They don't really help you very much. They just sort of give you some money up front, and then they want their money back, and they don't really help you promote anything. And you might as well just go to the bank.
That was the thing we did.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
because we wanted to have we wanted to release it by ourselves and control everything. Yeah, and do it all by ourselves.
That's great. And again, not to just harp on the one point, but the fact that you guys were so dedicated to raise the money and go into a professional studio and put in the time and the work, that says a lot about how serious you guys are taking this. So hats off to you guys for that.
Thanks.
Because, I mean, like I'm sure you know, and I'm sure you've done several recordings this way, it's so easy to just record something at home and get a decent product. But, you know, there is a difference when you go into a professional studio, and we just heard it.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Shall we vote? Vote on it? We do our voting round here, so this is where the true verdict comes in, and we're going to treat your song like we do all the other songs on here. We're going to go through our voting process. Who would like to start?
Yeah.
I'll start. I'm going to give A Brand New Start a Sweet Surrender.
It's sweet surrender. Hell yes.
Now, being Swedish, you're, of course, familiar with Yngwie J. Malmsteen, correct? I guess not. Did we lose Jesper?
Excuse me, what? What did you say?
Being Swedish and also a guitar player, you're familiar with Yngwie J. Malmsteen up there?
Yngwie Malmsteen? Maybe there's a different pronunciation.
Yeah, Yngwie Malmsteen.
Yeah.
I think that throwing the J in
Shredder,
actually threw him off where it's supposed to identify him. But yeah, that's where Sweet Surrender comes from, one of his solo cuts, and in case you were wondering.
Okay, yeah.
So, but that's basically our positive vote. So,
yes,
Andy?
That's our way on this show of saying we like it. So I like it. I'm giving it a Sweet Surrender. Thumbs up from Andy over here. I like your song because many reasons, but one thing that I've discussed over the course of this podcast, I always like to hear a song from a band that goes back to the roots of rock and roll. So horns, piano, usually some type of love song, and a beat you can dance to, and we got all those things today. So thank you for that. I enjoyed myself.
Yeah, thanks. Glad you like it.
Yeah. Nick, you want to vote next?
Sure. I will also give it a sweet meatball surrender.
It's sweet surrender.
Fantastic.
And not one of those weird meatballs they make here with the grape jelly mixed in. Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe that's how they do it there, Nick. Don't be so...
Oh, I'm sorry. Do they do the grape...
That might be insulting to
I'm sorry.
Swedish
I thought
culture.
it was an Americanization of it. I apologize. See, I ruined it. I apologize.
I'm going to take a guess and say that Jesper doesn't want to talk about meatballs so much. He wants to talk about his song. So,
I really liked. It's really well done, and it could have been well done in any number of styles. So the style, to my ears, is very important, and I really, because it says a lot about who the guy is, who's making the song, like where are they coming from, what are they trying to put out there, get across, and even I guess target audience. But I really liked. I wasn't, because I hadn't heard it at all, and I thought, well, Bruce Kulick, okay. I was almost thinking something like really heavy, like Kiss had done on Carnival of Souls or something like that. And then when I heard the piano and the horns, I was very much. It was a nice surprise, and it was extremely well done. A lot of hooks in there. I mean, there's really no reason, except for maybe, whatever the inner workings of the music industry, but there's really no reason why this wouldn't be a song that you'd hear, everywhere. I think it's that well done. So yeah, hopefully it will catch some traction.
Yeah, thanks. Big words.
That's Nick's famous for big words,
and usually I use them incorrectly. Yeah. So
Nick's famous for his big words and his little behind.
Ah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Glad you guys liked it, and thank you for all the kind words.
Well, there's more coming your way
taking your
because
time.
I'm giving it a sweet surrender as well.
Yeah.
It's sweet surrender.
Amazing.
In fact, I'm going to liken
Lots
it.
of sweet surrender.
I'm going to liken it to a Swedish massage. That's how much I like it. We were talking about foot rubs and whatnot. It kind of puts me in that mind frame. But yeah, like I told you when we were chatting, setting this whole thing up, it initially reminded me of The Darkness, which I'm a huge fan of. And, those guys have got quite a career for themselves. So, some bands are out there succeeding with this kind of music, so hopefully that's in the cards for you guys. But then the discussion of Mata Hoople, and then you hear the piano and the horns, and it all kind of comes together and makes sense. And like Bruce was saying, something upbeat and positive and rocking and hearkening back to the vibe of rock and roll, how it used to be. Five Finger Death Punch does not encapsulate that vibe for me, or really for anybody else who listens to it. That's like for roid heads hopped up on Monster Energy drink. That's their kind of music. That's not what this is, and I'm extremely excited about that. So
yeah, thank you. Glad you guys liked it, and we love that you think it's more like Mata Hoople than Five Finger Death Punch.
Yeah,
that's our idea, and we want to do this the real way, the old school way. Go into a studio, write a song, record it with real instrument in real time together in a room. We recorded it live together. So yeah, it's and I think it's also got sound and the dance groove. It's you can hear that Ben Anderson from ABBA is having a little finger on it.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, he knows good pop music when he hears it. And, there's nothing wrong with having the pop sensibilities in there. It's there's absolutely no, a lot of people who pride themselves as rockers. They won't admit that they like pop music. Guess what? It's all pop music. Five Finger Death Punch is fucking pop music, just not pop music that anybody with any semblance of taste would ever want to hear. But it's all pop music. It's all meant to be commercial, and there's nothing wrong with it. So definitely a breath of fresh air. And I love the attitude you're bringing, where you want to do it the real way. And I also admire your initiative. Reaching out to Bruce Kulick to be on the track, reaching out to us to promote it, which, we're not a huge show, but we're not a tiny show either, and we've got some reach, and we've got a following, and the whole do-it-yourself attitude goes for promoting, and you're clearly a tireless promoter, and I think that sort of thing should be rewarded. So any little bit of help we can provide, we're happy to do it.
Yeah,
And
you're too kind, guys. Yeah.
And also, let's focus on the fact that you woke up at what time in the morning to talk to us today?
3 in the morning.
So how about that?
He's a 25-year-old guitar player. He's just getting in fact, he interrupted his all-night activities to come on this show. He's not like us old guys who are waking up for like a regular job. He's just hitting his stride at this moment. So
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you have it. Velvet Insane, a brand new start. Find it on your favorite platform and purchase that right away. Right? Everybody. I'm going to do it as soon as we're done here.
Yeah, support these indie artists, especially guys like Velvet Insane, who are doing it the right way. And I think we'd be remiss if we didn't treat these guys to the customary rubber stamp from one of the icons of music. Here we go.
That's just the fucking way it is.
There you go. 3 sweet surrenders from us, and that's just the fucking way it is. So.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, guys.
Well, thank you, and thanks for bringing Bruce along. All the other unsigned bands out there, if you bring Bruce with you, you can be on the show as well.
Yeah.
Hey, Jesper, do you have a few minutes to take a couple of questions that we have? Every week on our show, we do something where we take 3 questions from a random listener and we answer them. Are you interested in doing that?
Yeah,
all right,
of course. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Sing away.
Yes, Chief.
All right. So, because today is 2 days before Christmas, the day this episode is released, we have a special Christmas-themed Yard O questions. We've got 3 questions. So, I don't know. You're so close to Santa over there. I'm sure Christmas is big there, right?
Yeah, really big. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Perfect. So here we go. This set of questions comes to us from Gary Branville. So here's what Gary says.
Before we get into the questions, though, I would imagine in Sweden that there's the concept of the Black Santa probably doesn't exist up there.
You need to tell me that again, I think.
Here in the States, we have a thing, Black Santa. It's a more ethnic Santa Claus. I would imagine in Sweden you don't bother with that nonsense, do you?
No, we got the old guy Santa Claus.
Exactly.
And do you I don't know if I'm going to say it correctly, but Julmust? Is that a popular drink?
Yeah, Julmust.
I've seen that. I saw that in a supermarket here years ago. It was here one time. I didn't get it. It disappeared. I've never had it. And I just remember thinking,
should,
it's good, yeah?
Yeah, it's really good. It's Christmas for all the Scandinavian people.
Okay, because I've just wondered, is it just kind of like a regular soda, like soft drink kind of thing, or is there something special to it? There must be something special to it. But
yeah, it's got a special taste. So yeah, you should buy it and try.
All right, Nick's all about it.
Next time I see it, I will. I won't let it pass me by.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah.
All right, so here we go. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to my favorite jingle boners.
Of which Jesper is one today.
That's right. That's right.
Congratulations, you're a jingle boner.
Thank you. Jingle boner.
He says, I know it's not my damn show, but I would also like Andy to answer if you can accommodate. Okay, so we're going to get... All four of us are going to answer each of these questions. So let's rapid fire. Here we go. Question 1. What is your favorite Christmas movie? I will answer first. I have a lot of them, but my favorite is Jingle All the Way, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sinbad.
Good choice.
A classic one.
That's right.
You're familiar with that?
Yeah, I've seen it.
How big is Sinbad in Sweden? Is he like an icon over there or what?
Yeah, kind of. Maybe small icon.
Small icon.
Yeah.
Okay,
but
lowercase I icon.
Jesper, you got a favorite Christmas movie?
I don't actually, but I have to say like Home Alone, maybe.
Good.
A classic one from the childhood.
Absolutely. Yeah. Nick,
I've got a couple. I'm just going to pick
Nick's
one.
is going to be something that no one's ever heard of.
It is going to be something no one's ever heard of, but everybody can watch it on YouTube if they want. It's from 1945. It is.
Okay.
It's one that I discovered a few years ago, and I really enjoy it.
what is it? A Nagasaki Christmas? Is that what it is?
Oh boy.
Edit her out. Oh wait, Bruce isn't on anymore. No, it's called The Cheaters, and it's 1945. The Cheaters, and it's the guy who, I'll just say, anybody who I dropped my microphone. Anybody who is interested in seeing it on YouTube, my opinion is the gentleman who plays the out of work actor, who's kind of the central figure. Incredible performance. It's just a solid acting performance as you'll ever see.
And what's the movie called again?
It's called The Cheaters.
The Cheaters.
It's from 1945.
And it's a Christmas movie.
It is a Christmas movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Okay.
I'll check it out. Maybe not. It's on YouTube. It's easy to find.
It is. That's the only place I could find it, actually.
Okay. Chris, how about you?
Mine would be Scrooged with Bill Murray and an outstanding performance from Bobcat Goldthwait in that.
That is true.
That's mine.
Also, David Johansen, where I
Yes.
got a little bit of New York Dolls from today's song.
There you go.
How about that?
That's right. Are you New York Dolls fan, Jesper?
Yeah, a little. We like the American punk glam era as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right, question 2. What are some Christmas/holiday traditions that are unique to you and your families? Ooh, that's a hard one. I don't know if we have any unique ones.
Yeah.
No.
It's the same old meat and potatoes for us. You know, you open presents on Christmas morning and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I don't think we have anything that's super unique to our family. Growing up, Nick and I used to go to midnight mass with our family, but I haven't done that in a long time.
I don't know how unique that is, though.
I don't know either. I'm just thinking of any traditions.
Yeah, I mean, we got Secret Santa. That's kind of the thing we do. You know, you draw. Well, nowadays you don't draw it out of a hat. There's an app for that matches you up with someone. You get the email and you get the budget and you buy the.
I have a black Santa app like that where it matches you up with one.
That's good. Yeah.
Nick, what do you have?
What do I have?
I think at Nick's house they do under the mistletoe. They do, instead of kissing, they do standing 69s. So
How much of this is usable? Let's see.
Oh, it's all usable.
Unique? I don't know, really. That's
Any unique dishes you're going to whip up? You kind of had that thing at your pre-holiday party where you made a cake out of whatever ingredients
we
people
could say
brought.
that
Was kind of neat.
We could say that's a new one. We had some guests over, and everybody was instructed to bring a small handful of whatever pie ingredient they
Wait
would
a
like to
minute.
bring.
So is this like a dessert? What's the word from the beginning of the show?
Oh, the dish.
Pity pocky? Pity... What was it?
Pitipano?
Titty fucky?
I don't think that was it. I think that's inaccurate. What was it, Jesper?
What's the name of that potato smorgasbord dish you were talking about earlier?
Piti panna.
Yeah. Sort of like a...
Panna.
It's a sweet version of that, I suppose.
Yeah, where you take some kind of leftovers and make a pie out of it.
Nick unwittingly putting his dessert spin on that. So
I
guess
guess
serendipity.
I guess we could
happening
say that's a new tradition. Why not?
here. Yeah.
How about you, Jesper? Do you or your family have any unique traditions for Christmas? Or
No, I don't think so. We're just a regular, boring Swedish family. But I think like a special food. My father is eating, and this it can't be more Swedish than this because my father used to eat a tongue from a moose that you're boiling.
wow,
With some, and it's cutting that up and eating it on a sandwich. It's kind of weird, but he does that. Yeah.
It's not the same region, obviously, but my best friend when I was growing up was Belgian, and his mom would make cow tongue sandwiches, and they were great until you found out what it was, and then I'm like, I'm not touching that ever again.
Exactly.
It's just, you can't.
It's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
I think,
You should hang up the tongue instead of the mistletoe and have people kissing underneath that. That would be a nice twist on
we
it.
should.
Right, so-
Or lick the tongue.
All right, question 3. What is the best or most memorable Christmas gift you have received at any point in your life? Best or most memorable Christmas gift? I'm going back to...
I was just talking about this.
Oh, Nick, if you were
go
just...
first, then.
Yeah.
Because we had a question very similar to this a year or two ago, maybe 2 years ago. And I couldn't think of a really good answer. And then that Christmas, like a couple of days after we recorded, I got my current answer.
Wow. That recent.
Yeah. I mean, well, growing up, like I got a Kramer Stryker guitar for Christmas. So that's, of course, a huge moment, you know.
Yeah.
But as far as like just something that makes me smile every single time I bring it out is it's not anything huge, but it's a little rollout curling game that my wife got me a couple of years ago.
Is curling big in Sweden?
No.
That's well, yeah. Didn't they? I think.
I mean, there's a lot of
Sweden
ice up there. You can make it happen.
I think Sweden won the silver in the last Olympics.
Oh.
I think.
Maybe it
was
has a
Sweden.
different name.
I think. Well, maybe.
Well, whatever. It's not that important.
Yeah, they lost. They lost to the U.S. in the final, I believe. But that's the one for me.
Trying to get Jesper to hang up on us with this.
Take that, Sweden.
I'm just trying to motivate. I'm just trying to motivate
the curling animosity bubbling up here.
No, I'm just. So that's my answer. Just a fun little, I'm a physically a full-grown adult, but getting just a fun little game like that it's just I get a kick out of it every time. So,
Chris?
I'd like to think about it a little more. Can you shows you how memorable it is? But,
How about you, Jesper?
A
guitar or something? No.
I don't know. But, in a few years ago, I think it was like 2010. like 10 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
maybe something like that. I got tickets for Kiss playing at Stockholm Stadium
Wow.
here in Stockholm. On
That's a
their
good one.
Alive 35 tour. I think it was like something like that, or
Yeah.
Sonic Boom tour. I don't remember. Yeah,
Right, yeah, that's great. That's
yeah,
good. That's a
that
really
was-
good one.
Yeah.
Chris, you got yours? Me? Man, I'm still struggling, but I'm just going to spit one out that I remember as a kid. I got really into hockey at one point, and I really wanted a Chicago Blackhawks jersey when I was, I want to say, 9 years old. And it was like the Christmas story trick where we opened all our presents and I didn't get one. But, oh, wait, there was one more after I was almost about to internally, not actually cry, but I felt like, oh, that's all I wanted and I didn't get it. And then it was the, oh, wait, there's one more present over there. Who's that for? And it was the hockey jersey I wanted. So I would say that one. Chris, what do you got?
You know, the right answer for me to give would be something for my wife, but my birthday is in December, so it kind of it's close enough to Christmas where they kind of blend together. So like for my last birthday, she got me a new watch, which is beautiful and a great gift. But I would say from my childhood, I would say the Stretch Armstrong doll. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
The blonde guy who basically just had a pair of Speedos on, and you could stretch him like ungodly lengths. And I don't think it was more than 2 hours before we ruptured that thing open.
Some sort
stretched
of
it,
gel comes out,
stretched
right?
it far beyond its limits, and there's like this weird syrup inside
Yeah.
that dumped all over the carpet and
we
pretty
had-
much ruined Christmas.
We had like a
that year.
we had like a Batman.
Mom was not happy about that.
We had like a stretch Batman, I remember, from when we were younger, and I do remember some sort of clear gelatinous liquid coming forth.
Yeah, they might have taken like the food coloring out of it or whatever dyes they put in it, because I remember when we busted ours open, it was like maple syrup coming out of there. It was all over the carpet, and Christmas was shot at that point. So,
All right, so there we have it. But just for Nick, a bonus question. What is your favorite Christmas treat to eat, and what is your favorite Christmas treat to make? We got to...
Favorite Christmas treat is my wife makes. It's like nut kolachki, but she makes them in nut cup form, so you get way more filling. That's the greatest thing ever.
Okay.
And favorite Christmas treat to make?
Yes.
You know, I made something a couple of years ago. It turned out pretty good. I'd like to revisit it and do it. You know, try to do it better. It's an Eastern European thing called a povatitsa. It's like a loaf of bread. It's like a twist bread with like either some kind of sweet filling. So it's something that you don't see around here very much. But
Okay.
I did attempt it. It was all right, but
Okay. So you want to perfect that, huh?
I would like to perfect that.
Okay. Well,
Before I leave this planet, I want to perfect that.
all right. Well, Gary says, thank you guys so much for the entertainment this past year. It's almost exactly 1 year to the day when I discovered you guys, thanks to Chris Jericho. The show has gotten me back into Kiss after not really listening to them for the last 20 years, so you're welcome, Kiss. Coincidentally, a childhood friend I hadn't really spoken to for about the same amount of time was getting back into Kiss, and we have reconnected. Thanks again, Gary. So, thank you, Gary.
you know what? When you hear stuff like that, when you hear the story of how Jesper and Bruce Kulick linked up on this thing, it's just, that's what makes the whole thing worthwhile. It's pretty amazing what can happen. And then to Jesper, thanks for reaching out and bringing Bruce with you. And like we just heard from Gary, people listen to our show, they get back into Kiss, they get into the bands that we feature on these shows. They're all signed, famous bands. This is something I would love to do more of, starting with this episode, would be to feature bands like you who are just starting out and not well known, and hopefully we can do our small part in helping you build up a following around the world. So, thanks again for reaching out. It's our pleasure to have you on the show, man.
Yeah, thank you. This is amazing. Thank you for taking your time to talk to me and Bruce.
Yeah, and thanks for taking your time in the middle of the night to call 3 bozos on the other side of the planet. So it's very cool that we were able to do that.
And again, to you other upstart bands out there, bring Bruce Kulick with you. We'll have you on the show too. And in lieu of Bruce Kulick, we accept cash as well. So, so there you go. That's how this shit works.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you again, Jesper. One more time for everybody. It is A Brand New Start by Velvet Insane. Go purchase that now. Don't steal it. Purchase it right now. And then when the full album comes out at the end of January, do the same for the entire album. Alrighty. Well, Merry Christmas to all, and to all, a good Monday, right? Probably. All right.